Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Tuesday Night Live Show. Magic Round edition. I'm pumped. I cannot be more pumped. There is a lot to talk about tonight. And as you all get online, I'm all ready to let the dogs out this weekend. So if you're around Magic Round, bring it on. That's all I can say because I am ready. But we've got a few things to get through before we get to Friday, probably lunchtime. Let's try and cool the jets for a second, then we'll fire up for another reason. We've got lots to talk about tonight. Obviously, to be fair, we're going to crack down tonight. We are going to crack down on the crackdown. So, and probably crack down on each other. If at times it gets a little bit heated, do not worry. Maybe just laugh along and go from there. So, oh, you're throwing me off already. Anyway, firstly, thank you to obviously all the sponsors out there for helping us get this show on the road again tonight. A couple of these TC coolers, League of Inches, the coolers to give away. Plenty to discuss. So all your comments will go into the draw and we'll give out a couple of those towards the end of the episode, all throughout. If there's a comment that is an absolute ripper and there's plenty to talk about, so I'm sure there will be, you will just get one straight away. And if you're going to Magic Round this weekend, we've got a few that we'll be giving away for our event at the Velveteen Rabbit on the Saturday. So make sure if you haven't already, make sure you message the page to secure your spot. Look, you can come on the day. I just can't guarantee you'll be allowed in because we do have a set number we have to stick to. And just a word of warning already, we are getting close to it. So if you do want to make sure you're there, book yourself your spot. I'll lock it in, or we'll try and get you in on the day, but I cannot promise it. Let's get the boys in before we rip into everything. Trav, how are you, mate? I haven't seen you, or I've spoken to you a couple of times on Messenger and stuff, but I haven't seen you since last week. So how's things?
Yeah, going well. It's been refreshing not having to see you for a while. I needed a break, but going really well, mate. Going really well. Loving it. Excited for this week. Very excited though. It's couldn't have come quick enough.
Honestly, I need to start cooling myself off a bit because I'm too pumped already. Jake, how are you, mate? You ready for this one? Did you wear a nappy because you might be shitting yourself tonight?
Mate, I'm psyched. I'm ready to go. I'm raring. I am sitting here just as pumped as I can be, not only for this, but for Magic Round. I'm ready to go. It's going to be a great time.
We will all be there, guys. So every single day and night as well, we will be there. Very, very keen. All right, what caught our eye this week? Jakey boy, start us off.
What caught my eye was Andrew Johns leaving his commentary role in the middle of the Sharks-Tigers game, stopping the calling. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was so funny, and it leads into what we are talking about today with the bunker and all the issues with the refereeing. He saw it, he'd had enough, and he just walked off. He was done. Just like you're going to walk off tonight when I school you.
Oh, the words have started already, mate. Look out. I schooled you on Sunday night, so I'm ready to do it twice in a row. So ready to go. Trav, what caught your eye this week?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got a non-NRL related one and an NRL related one. First of all, the blooper reel from the weekend. How good was that? How good was was it the Sexton kick that hit the Brisbane Broncos trainer? How good was that? The old Falcon in the back of the head, that was gold. And then the Xavier Coates blooper reel for his interview the interview he did with the Matty John show with Hindy and that. I thought that was hilarious. Did anyone catch that? The Xavier Coates one?
No, I didn't catch it.
Oh
wait, yes, I did. No, sorry, yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah, no, that was awesome.
It's hilarious. And then the other thing too is this. It's a little bit off. It's a little bit off NRL, but I just wanted to give a shout out to one Tommy Turbo. I'm a dad. I've got a little 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I read a book every night. And one of the books I caught at the library the other day was The Turbo Pup, written by Tom Dravojevic. And it was bloody brilliant. It's brilliant. I highly recommend if you get your hands onto this. It's freaking brilliant. So that's caught my eye.
Plug?
Did not. The Turbo Pup, everybody. Tom Trbojevic wrote it, and he is gold. It's brilliant. Get around it.
That's almost better than Jake's one last week about Katy Perry on the moon. Honestly, I don't think we'll ever get better than that. That's very close to it though.
At least mine's
right up
at
there.
least mine's related to something NRL. His was
True.
just random.
You're the one that told
out.
me.
I'm literally giving a shout out to a dude about English skills, man. That's just
you guys are the ones that told me it doesn't need to be NRL related. You know what I was going to say last Tuesday, except we had Jason on from X-Visory. I was actually going to say last time my eye catcher was that the Pope passed away, but I didn't get an opportunity to because you just skipped us.
Well, we didn't have time. We just got straight into it after how good Jason was last week. We had to just get too into things, which we're almost going to have to do here. But yes, I am. I just got to do the old nail painting as well. So I'll get to that before Magic Round for sure. We've got a few things tonight we need your help with as well, guys. So make sure you stay around because we have we're going to do like a Magic Round bingo sort of thing where we want to challenge or something that you guys set us, or we'll talk about it openly, but get your opinions as well, and something that we can do throughout the Magic Round weekend that you can set us. But that is later on in the show. And obviously we do have our draft teams to get to as well, and it's props tonight. I reckon we'll have a number of bidding wars, I feel like, in the prop department. What caught my eye this week, I've got two. I can't split them. Lockie Galvin's performance on Sunday I thought was just mature beyond his years. And obviously everything that's happened, everything his manager and that has done, his name's been in and around the media since basically it started. We've seen experienced players like DC fall off an absolute cliff when this happened. Lockie Galvin, for mine, had his best game of the year. Like, it was ridiculous. And that's from a kid that is, 19 years old, copped a bashing from his own fans. He went on and there was boos basically when they read his name out. Like, he was up against it, playing with players who apparently don't like him, things like that. And to have that performance, I just thought it was absolutely sensational. If anything, it's skyrocketed his price tag even more because he's literally just class written all over him, boys. We might be able to have a quick discussion on it before we get to the big topic so far, but it's I couldn't believe what we've seen on the week. He was just absolute class.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, considering all, like, how just unbelievably in the spotlight his name was and the question marks that were around, it was really good, honestly, to see this young kid get to come out and just play footy. And that's what he sort of has said the whole time. And, and it was good of Benji to kind of go, well, you know what? Who cares? He's out there. That's it. That's the game. Let's go. And he did good. He did an awesome job.
Oh, some comments are already coming in, ripping and tearing. Trav, got anything to add for Galvin?
Yeah, like I think it should be. I think that he went out and did his job, and this is the way it is. And the lay of the land of the NRL allows him to do that, and say that he doesn't want to sign a contract and blah blah blah. And the stories there. I'll actually give credit a few places around that and say that well done to the coach for managing that program and what happened, and well done to the other players to be mature enough to put and say that, look, for us to be successful this year, we need him to play. And so let's work this out and nut this out and let's go. So I think it's well done to everybody really in that situation and around that to make that situation work.
Yeah, the Knights could probably learn a few things with the Hastings drama at the moment. Rob, no, I'm not welding something. I'm just ready for Magic Round, just getting my party hat on, my party sunnies. So who knows, if this video tonight gets enough views, I might wear these for one of the nights at Magic Round. Why not? Just really get into it. I'm just pumped. One final one that caught my eye, just quickly, like, we'll talk about it more in detail when it's official and things like that. Yeah, the milkshake's back. I've had this since my birthday. This is one of the presents I got, and I've absolutely loved it. I've had a milkshake every night. I'm going to become this gigantic human being, and I'm all for it. It's banana tonight. So ripping into the banana Nesquik. You know what, guys? I don't know if anyone else is like a little child like I am still, but I love my milkshakes. And Nesquik, the banana one, it vanished. Coles and Woolies and that didn't do it anymore. Went in there this week. They're now stocking banana Nesquik flavor again. Honestly, I dropped to my knees and started crying in Coles. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I loved it. The last one, welcome to the Bears. The Bears are back from one. What caught my final one there? Again, we will talk about that more in detail when it's official. Things like that we'll start talking probably next week or the week after. But just a quick one. It's very much official already, but cannot wait to rip into that. Let's do it. Let's get into it. The officiating. Wow, where do we go from here? And first of all, this is our power up discussion. So this is our big topic of the night. Thanks to Vital Man Supplements. If you use our 10% discount code word is inches, you will get 10% off your order, and then obviously help our page as well. And that will mean Vital Man stay with us and sponsor us for a much longer, helping us grow, helping you guys receive more prizes, things like that as well, and bettering things like our equipment, our events, all that sort of jazz. So if you do need any supplements to help your health, please visit Vitamin and use the code word inches. So the officiating and the crackdown, the sin bin crackdown. I'm not. I've got to. I'm trying to be serious, and there's too many cracking comments going in. Nicholas, while you're going, you can just get tickets to the bloody event if you come in a Magic Round. I'll cheers you for that.
That's a ripper comment at the end there. That's gold.
Yeah, I'll get to it in a second. Oh, all right. Who wants to start? Jake, you can start us. You can go. Officiating crackdown. It was very much a crackdown. They say it wasn't. In a way, it was. It was. Talk to us. What are your thoughts from the weekend? Let's just go from there before we go into final ones. Before me and Trav rip you apart with your a certain one that we'll talk about down the track.
Yeah.
Let's go firstly.
You want the overview?
Overview. There we go.
I think it was embarrassing, but I am actually going to just, before I even get into that, I am going to say, I think it was Andrew Abdo came out and he said, I want to give credit where credit is due for him coming out and going, you know what, we got things wrong over the weekend. We made the mistake and it was poor. And he actually said, you know, we're going to do better and we need to do better. So I actually, to be honest with you, was a fan of that. But before all the happy, joy and fun times, rubbish, absolute rubbish refereeing. I was going to start off with an incident that isn't the one you're thinking of. I was about to say Tuipulotu. Bulldogs player. Someone in the head. What's his name? Before we go into the deep, I just want to get the overview first. I'll go to Trav, and then we can start to get into. All right. Because I've got examples in my head I want to get into.
Yeah, so that's all right. We'll get there. Trav, what's your overview about the weekend that was?
It's a very open question.
And
it's hard not to go into the details of things. So do you want just like a sentence? The sentence will just be that
bad.
It's atrocious, bad, piss poor, pathetic, all in one. Yeah, it was very, very. There was times where on the weekend I turned it off. I just had a gut full of it. So I got sick of it, turned it off.
Didn't Andrew Jones?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Except I didn't walk away from the commentary box. I just went and grabbed a beer and jumped in the pool. But it was horrible. I can't do it.
Wow, Marcus sin bins over the weekend. Over or under 35.5. Okay. Surely it's under. It's under. It's under.
That's a bit.
You know what? Just to quickly go off course a little bit, and there's a lot of people out there, like the media crunch down, going, "Oh, it's going to absolutely destroy Magic Round." I guarantee you right now, the sin bins are going to get the loudest cheer of the weekend. Every time there's a sin bin, there's going to just be everyone's going to go off. It's just going to be funny. It will not destroy the week. The weekend is going to be amazing. The football is going to be great. The atmosphere is going to be great. The media going over the edge, going, "Oh, it's going to destroy Magic Round." It won't. It won't. All right. I want to say this about this. I want to say what I want to go out and start with is the fact that, can you tell me, apart from possibly the Pole one from the Tigers, was any of the other ones that were sin bins on the weekend not high contact made?
Oh, God, I'd have to look back through. The
answer is basically no. The answer is no. Every single one of those was high contact. It's illegal to hit people in the head. I want to say that right now. Like in our game, you cannot make high contact. Okay? So I know people are out there like Joey and that are going, "Oh, I can't watch anymore, blah, blah, blah." But this is like they're officiating something that's been in the rule book now for what? Since the inception of rugby league. Like you haven't been able to do it. And I think there's some people going over the top with this when really, like, yes, there was a lot of sin bins on the weekend, but literally all of them, bar probably one, were warranted, like in my opinion. Like, and that's sort of, I go back and say, don't we start putting the onus on the players in a way, and the coaches and things like that, and saying, is the way we're doing things at the moment the right way? Are we, because there's a huge day and age of protecting the players. Player safety comes first, which is 100% true. But where are we at as a game at the moment? Because, like I said, I can't. I sat back. I've looked over it again. Apart from the Polo one, which was touch and go, perhaps he did still get him just high. I don't know if any of the others actually got him high. I mean, actually didn't get him high. I'll get the plays, if you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. Like the ones that you're talking about, yeah, they were high. We need to figure out what is considered like forceful and stuff like that. Because like the incident with the Montoya one in the Bulldogs game where you have Tilly Tupanua literally do a high jumping like knee in the head into someone's face, and then all of a sudden you've got Montoya who, like, let's be realistic here, he did not forcefully contact his head. He made some contact, yeah, okay, but god damn, like that in any other game ever, that's been a penalty. And that's fine. It should have been a penalty, but he shouldn't have been sent for that because Tupanua should have. But the reasoning the ref actually gave out loud, he said this in the game. I don't know if you heard this. The reasoning he gave was, because it's been repeated stuff from all over the park, I'm going to send Montoya here. But Montoya didn't knee someone in the face on purpose. Tupanua did that. So why's Montoya the one suffering? Like, I understand, yes, he made high contact. Barely high contact. And there were other ones in the game where there were high contact and not sent off. So, like, that's more what I'm talking about with that one specifically is, like, the inconsistency even within the same game of that. So, I don't know what you've got to say about that one, but...
Oh, goodness me. The Tupanua one, honestly, that should have been a send-off. Let's be serious about that for a second. I know it's slightly off task, but that was one of the ones that wasn't like it.
It's a high contact.
In terms of it wasn't one of the heels running into, like, that was dead set. And he had two goes at him. That's the thing that most people haven't noticed, actually, or said. Yeah, the first one was bad, but the fact he actually went and tried to do it basically again in the same run, like, that is, I have no idea how he was not sent off for that. That is disgusting. He should not be playing a game now for 10 or so weeks. Like, I think that was that bad. I just think that was a disgusting look and could so easily have done some serious damage to Pia Cura. Like, that's disgusting to see. So, Trav, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking.
I can see your head just running around.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I said this last week. I've just had enough. I've had enough of this. and then we turned into this weekend, and I watched what I watched on the weekend, and I just went, "What is going on?" Like, I'm just confused. I'm more baffled than anything. Like, even just watching, I'm reading through the comments, and I'm just really engaged in what people are saying and how this is and where we're at. There's so much of us are consistently agree that where things should be, yet the NRL does not pick up on this. And then you come in and get this Andrew Abdo conversation. I'm not sure if anyone saw that on, I think was called 100% Footy. I sort of stumbled across that show last night and just listened to that. And I get that he's turned around and they've gone and made some adjustments with the sin bins, with the bunker and the ability for what the bunker should do and what he said. But Andrew Johns literally asked him, is this black and white? Is the line drawn in the sand? And Abdo said no, basically. And then Gallen came through and made and asked a similar question, and Abdo basically said no. He's come on. It's all just fluff and bullshit. I'm sorry, but it is, and it's just complete garbage, and I'm just sick of it, right? And it's getting to a point now where, like, listening to Andrew Johns, which I often disagree with more often than not.
I actually agree with you.
And then listen to him and go, man, like, I agree with you. I really do. And if an immortal is sitting there saying the things that he's saying like that, where he laid his heart on the sleeve like he did, you've got to sort of prick your ears up and go, hang on a second, what's actually going on? Now, I know that Johns played in that era of tough footy. I get it. And I know that there are lots of people out there that are still stuck in that tough footy days and those sorts of things. And I'm very much on Joel's side in terms of the concussion protocols. I've done the research. I know what concussion can do to people. I've watched the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen the documentaries, I highly recommend you do it. It's very much an eye-opener. But my concern is that I'm just so sick of the inconsistency about this. I'm so sick of the interpretations about this. And I'm so sick of where it feels like the NRL wants to make a point and then not make a point and then make a change constantly. We're only in 8 weeks of this season, and yet this is the third time the NRL have come through to try and change something big. I just don't get it. I'm lost for words to a degree.
That's the thing. I think what is frustrating everyone the most here. Like, I feel like it's the inconsistency. It's the whole sort of thing where we're even seeing someone on the weekend that we're only put on a report that for mine should actually have been a sin bin. Like, I sat there going, oh, this guy's off for sure. And I forget there was a couple, I forget what game it was, and they didn't go. I'm thinking, hang on a second, that's actually worse than some of the ones I've already seen this weekend. And he's staying on the field. That's complete inconsistencies, and it's ridiculous. And it's what everyone at the moment hates the most. Like, everyone's right. Like, James is right. Everyone will still watch the games because we absolutely love it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't piss us off. And it doesn't mean that the voicing the frustrations. And I know that the NRL, like, there are a few people going, like, publicity, anything publicity is great publicity. And to a certain extent, yes, it is. But I don't think it's ideal in the lead up to one of their biggest weekends of the year, Magic Round, where it should be basically that party atmosphere, that so far the first 2 days of the week have been basically everyone that I've listened to podcast-wise, watched on TV shows or whatever, have spent majority of their time talking about this. That can't be what the game wants right now. Like, it can't be. And the fact that it's gotten to this point is just absolutely ridiculous and stupid in itself. And I don't necessarily blame the game. This is the thing that I want to make sure people understand what I'm trying to say here. Again, I feel like a lot of these players have got done for what they've got the punishment that fits the crime in a way. But there needs to be a way we can fix this moving forward, because, look, having 18 sin bins on the weekend, 15 of those for high tackles isn't the right way to go moving forward. That's very obvious. But we've got to fix why that's actually happening. What's leading to that? Why players are always going so high now and gaining that control? Why is there 3 or 4 players in the tackle all the time? That sort of thing. That's the thing that's getting to me at the moment. And I hate that the referees are copying this. I'm first to say the referees have been poor this year, but there was not one of those where the referee wasn't like that in their ear the whole time, getting word from the bunker about what to do. So if there's anyone to point blame at with all of this, it's the bunker. And it's how the bunker is in the game almost now for the full 80 minutes, no matter what, where originally we were told the bunker came in to actually help control those big moments in games and try scoring opportunities and things like that. It's sort of now we may as well not even have a referee, just have this robot that's on the field with a loudspeaker or something, and whoever's in the bunker is it. And then we spoke about this last week, my final point before I let you guys go again. How come the guy that got demoted from last week's games after that poor officiate, he got a promotion in the way to being in the bunker? For mine, the bunker is a bigger and more important job than being a referee on the field. Yet you got dropped, but that meant you actually went up into the bunker. Please, boys, help me understand how that happens.
Yeah, I can't make sense of that. Yeah, that's it's a disgrace. But I will say that, and I'm not sure if you've heard of it, if you heard it, or if you watched the piece yesterday. And sorry, Jack, it is your turn to get in. But I'll just quickly say
you're right.
that I know Abdo came on yesterday and or last night and said that the bunker will not influence the game for pass plays unless it's going to be a send-off. So there is an adjustment that's going to be had, but let's just see what happens and how that works, and whether any of that actually does happen, or how that influences them. But yeah, he did come in and say, so there is some sort of change that's about to happen. I'm eager to see how that works. And that's right, But here's the problem, right? So Jake, you're sort of touching onto what I'm trying to say, is that this is our, major manager of the competition. And now he comes on and says this, and then you laugh, Jake, and go, he says, like, that's ridiculous. Like, we should be able to just go straight down the line. He should just be straight down the line and say this. Yet here we are, once again, at the end of week 8, going into the biggest round of the year other than finals round, having this rubbish conversation and questioning whether the change that he's come on TV and said is actually going to happen.
100%. I mean, that's what we're gonna have to see it at Magic Round, which it's going to be a good thing because we'll be seeing.
I actually heard it.
Sorry, it did sound like it.
Yeah, I heard it. Didn't mean it, but I did hear it too.
I said it, but I didn't want to say anything. I was just going to let it go. And we just come before just quickly before we came on. I asked if I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, and you said no. You said the F word's too bad, and then you come on and say no. You come on and say that.
I think I caught myself. I didn't say it.
It was an accident. You were saying can't.
Yeah, I said can't. I must have said it with an accent.
You did.
I must have said it with my speed dealer accent. So sorry about that.
No, you're right. So I was at work today. I was talking to some people, and we were sort of just having this chat. It was a pretty good chat actually about sort of heaps of things to do with rugby, this kind of thing. And we were talking about the bunker, and we were talking about how, like, a lot of people said, should go back to 2 refs and stuff like that. That's not going to fix the problem, because the problem is that the refs aren't necessarily the problem at the moment. It is the bunker, like you're saying. They're too involved. The referees need to see what they see on the field. Same with touchies, to be honest with you. They are glorified flag holders at the moment. That is what they do. They run up and down the field, and that is all they do in flag. They don't get to, influence what the referee, like what they see with the referee. They just go, it's fine. Every now and then they call a forward pass, very, very rarely nowadays. Like, the bunker is involved in almost everything now. And what it needs to be is go back to what it was supposed to be. They are there to see whether a try is scored. They're there to see if somebody, touches the line when they're trying to score and things like that. It's just saw the comment. It threw me completely off. The bunker needs to just be almost not scrapped. I still think there's a place in the game for it, right? And they've paid for all these things, and it needs to exist. And we've talked about this before, so I don't want to get into too much detail about it, but I think there needs to be specialist bunker analysts, and then there's referees, 2 separate entities. And I think that the bunker needs to have a very specified role on what they're allowed to do, and it needs to be reduced. It needs to be heavily reduced on what they're actually allowed to contribute to.
One thing I want to mention, and I've seen a few comments, I was going to get to it. I also hate the fact that these players now are playing to this, milking things, staying down until something is done, said. Here they look straight up at the referee, they get up, off they go. There was commenting there before, and I thought it was a rule now this year. If a player stays down, he goes off the field for a HIA. That's the rule. I thought that was in place now. And it didn't happen. Like, we need to go back to that. If a player goes down, you lose that player for 15 minutes. And I guarantee you the coaches will be into their players after a week saying, you do not stay down. Like, and then there'll be people that go, oh, but what happens if there is legit I didn't say the C word, guys. I didn't say it. I promise. I swear. But what will happen, the people will then say, all right, what about the legit ones? And I'll be saying, well, no, there won't be any, because if you're legit hurt, you stay, like, you can't get up and be normal. Like, you're concussed. Like, it's the symptoms that happen. You can tell those people straight away. That needs to be stamped out of the game immediately. They need to, like, if you see someone, the referee should just go, no, off you go. You got to go. The doctor should get them and off they go. You can't be keeping these people on the field for milking. It's just absolutely stupid and not in the spirit of the game. 100%, Nick's not in the spirit of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the prime example is the. Yeah, no, go.
Go.
The prime example is the Mulatalo one on the weekend, yeah? Like, there's a good one. But that was a disgrace. That's embarrassing. And he should be embarrassed, right? Absolutely. The other thing I actually don't like about this is I really dislike the HIA rule around 15 minutes, yet the dude that hits him in the head gets 10. That just doesn't make sense to me. And whilst I get the idea where, okay, yes, you're replacing him. Yeah, I do understand that. I still just don't. I just don't think that's like for like. I don't think that's fairness.
Yeah. There's a few people in the comments talking about maybe a 5-minute sin bin. If that's better. I don't like that for this situation. It's like if you are hitting a player, like this is what I keep going back to. If you are hitting a player high, whether it's an accident or not, and we're about to get into some of these ones that Jake wants to talk about, and we'll go off. Whether it's an accident or not, you have still made a mistake of hitting the player high. That player then has to go off for a 15-minute HIA at best. If not, he doesn't come back at all. 10 minutes for mine in that situation isn't enough. If anything, I'd actually argue that to be off for the same amount of time that player that they've put in the HIA should be out for. So, Leon, look, at the moment, I will formally apologize to you. If you heard the C word come out of my mouth live on air, I apologize, guys. To those kids listening belatedly on the podcast, I apologize. To anyone else out there who's not a kid and got offended by that, let's meet and I'll wear the speed dealer signs. So, thank you.
And there's a good apology. NRL, we should snap
that.
We'll get our video.
That was awesome.
Now, one person I do not want to apologise to is Jake, because Jake, talk to us about the first one at the moment, which will be the Melbourne Storm game. Latrell Mitchell on Sua Fa'alongo. Let me pre-warn everyone. Let me just say one thing. Trav generally criticises us quite a bit about our podcast on a Sunday, and he did let us know behind the scenes talk at the moment that talk, he normally is on with Jake every step of the way on almost everything he says because he just wants to go at me, and that's fine. I love it. But he literally, I'm ready to see this because Trav was not happy at all. Jake, talk to us. Latrell Mitchell's hit on Fa'alongo. Grub act.
Okay. No, happily. I'm happy to. Absolutely, he in this specific game and under the current rule set, he should have gone off for 10. I'm not denying that, right? That's first of all, let me just say that. What I think though is that there needs to be some sort of.
You've already changed your tune.
No, I haven't. I have not. That is what I said.
You've already changed your tune because you were saying
I haven't. Listen on Sunday. Listen to the Sunday podcast. On Sunday, I said at the moment the current rule set that we play under, he should have been set for 10. I agree with that. However, I don't believe that it was an act of foul play, first of all. I don't believe that when a player falls over and hits their head on your shoulder, when I looked at the replay just then, if anyone wants to go and look at the video right now, if Sua Fa'alongo was standing up straight, completely straight, Latrell Mitchell's shoulder would have been at his knee level. That's how low he was to the floor. He was practically crawling. The only reason he hit Sua Fa'alongo in the head is because Sua Fa'alongo fell over. There is nothing, and I mean this, there is nothing that Latrell Mitchell could have done to get out of that tackle. He didn't hit him late.
Yeah,
he absolutely did not. He didn't hit him late.
He could have. He couldn't. He didn't have to hit him late. One for one. Two, he didn't need to lunge like he was about to try and spear tackle a dude with his head turned to the side and push a shoulder through him. Two.
Why? Why shouldn't he be able to do that? He was going to make.
So then, why should Sua not try to get away from that? Like, so you're saying, right? So because Latrell Mitchell literally lunges at him like he's about to spear tackle the dude, okay? That Sua can stand. Hey, here we go. So here. I'll do this to you on the weekend, and let's see if you stand there like this.
I'll film it.
Jake, you put your hands up, and I'll run at you, and I'll spear tackle you, and you take it through your ribs, right? You take it. Go on. Take it.
He had fallen over. He had fallen over.
Well, why do you? So he hit him late as, right? All Latrell wanted to do in that hit was hit him as bloody hard as he could. All that happened was
what is wrong with that?
So, but then the risk is because as soon as you try to do some stupid ass tackle like that as some ridiculous thing, the risk is you lose all right for consequence. You lose all right for it. So yes, you do. So he goes, if he hits him in the head, right? He hits him in the head because of the way he tackled. That's it. He's done. Right? That's it. That's his fault because his tackling technique and what he did is absolutely reckless and was appalling. And he lost right to have any consequence that was nothing but a send-off or a major suspension by the fact that he had no duty of care to lunge at him. He went off his feet. He dropped his hips. He went down as low as he could. Full credit. That's what he did. But all he literally wanted to do was hit him as bloody hard as he could. right? Now, Sewer has every right. Sewer has absolutely every right to try and avoid the absolute.
He didn't try to avoid it. He had slipped over.
He went to the ground. He tried to go to the
He
ground.
already
That's
slipped
what he
over. He had every right to avoid him, but he slipped over. That's an accident. Accidents happen because it is a contact sport. When you have a grown man is about to tackle another grown man, it is an accident. Because again, Latrell,
so this is an accident. He hasn't gone through and gone, all right, I'm actually going to try and hit him as hard as I can. He hasn't gone that. We know that. He's not going to do, as in through the head. We get it. But what he has gone is he's lost his feet. He's bent himself over. He's dipped his head and he's put his shoulder into him. He's gone straight through he's tried to go straight through him and put as much hurt as possible onto this as he could, right? The problem was that because of what Sewer did in the wet and trying to avoid the fact that he didn't want to get cleaned up through his ribs, he went down to try and get under. It's literally no different really to a dude getting a kick or taking the kick and grabbing it and going straight to the ground because he's trying to avoid getting whacked. That's what he's doing. So this is the same type of situation, although Sewer's running as fast as he bloody can, right? But
I wish we could play this video right now.
Sewer then went and took a couple of extra steps. So it was a late as hit, man. It was like he literally took the pass and Wishart was almost 5 meters in front of him. Like, how can you say it wasn't? How can you say it wasn't late? Like I don't get it.
I don't think it was. I'm just saying that I don't think it was. Like I said, and this is the big thing. Actually, I'm gonna touch on something here, right? Okay. I feel like the biggest issue with this is you've watched it, and we've all watched it in slow motion. We've all watched it in slow motion, and this is a huge thing it comes to talking about these. Don't hang on. I'm still in the middle of something. Thank you.
Sorry,
I'm still in there.
Sorry, mate.
All right. You talk after I talk.
Good call, Adam.
Right. First of all, right, we watch these in slow motion. Everything watches in slow motion, and that's fine, right? But there has to be some sort of consideration taken about the fact that when we watch things in slow motion, it's going to look worse. And the fact that you say that he hit him like late, if you watch it at speed, there's about a second in it. There's about a second difference.
Second's a long bloody time.
A second is not a long time.
It is.
When you are running, when two people are running at each other, 1 second in the rain, in the wet, could be anything. Okay? The player who fell, all right? And this happens to... Why do you think James Tedesco has been knocked out so many times? Because he fell down. And it's because they run sideways, okay? And I'm not saying that Sewer did anything wrong. Here's the biggest thing. Craig Bellamy and Cameron Munster...
Make it okay to get hit in the head.
Craig Bellamy and Cameron Munster, the coach and the captain from the other team, came out and said, what could Latrell do? They have no reason to say that. There's no reason why they needed to come out and defend Latrell at all. But they did. Why? Because they're right. He had nothing he could do differently. He went as low as he could. Sewer fell over beforehand.
Yeah, but irrelevant. It doesn't make a difference. Like we know, Latrell literally led. Oh man, like Latrell literally led with his head or shoulder in his head, turned and got his feet off the ground. Like, no,
Latrell led with his shoulder.
I can't take this take. Like, I literally can't take this take. It's.
Did you say Latrell led with his shoulder in a tackle in a sport where you're supposed to lead with your shoulder to tackle people? He's a fullback. His job is to stop that player from scoring a try.
Tackle motion like he did at full pelt.
His hands were forward. It wasn't a shoulder charge. His hands were forward. He can't disappear. Nicholas Noel's absolutely right. He can't disappear. And he has to make that tackle. He's the one man in charge of making that tackle
don't make
to stop a try from happening.
It was a full spear tackle, man. Like,
there's no other way to make it. Sewer fell over before he got there. That's it. It's simple as that. Joshua Reynolds absolutely nailed it. Joshua Reynolds nailed it. There is zero tackle technique you can learn to avoid hitting a sliding player in the wet. Simple as. He slid and fell over. Nothing else Latrell can do. I'm not saying he should have been sent for 10. This is what I started off with. Under the current rules. I think because there's heaps of these, like, times where these things happen. All right, go on, John. You've been waiting for a while. Go on, man.
How many other tackles were made during that game? Like, there was plenty made, and there was not one tackle like that. Like, I understand what both of you are saying, and I'll try and play middleman because we had our go on Sunday night, Jake. So I'll try and take a little backward step here at the moment. But I understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, whether people agree with it or not, he did a dangerous action, Latrell, that could have caused serious damage, whether he was falling or not. There is a duty of care there at some point of view, and that was not there. Latrell Mitchell wanted to hurt Su'a no matter what, and people will say it's rugby league. Well, that's the whole point. It's not to literally put him in a friggin' like to do serious bloody damage to someone. Like that's not in the spirit of the game. So, yeah, it might have been unfortunate the way it ended and what happened, but what you said at the start, I actually thought in normal speed that the tackle looked worse than what it did in slow motion. So when I watched it the first time I watched it like live and sitting there talking to the missus and that, I was like, holy crap, that's his send-off. That he's not on the field anymore. That's a send-off. And the only reason why he didn't get sent off, in my opinion, was when you watched it in slow-mo, there was that slight bit of contact right before anything where it was sort of like shoulder. Like he got a little bit of his under shoulder into the top of Su'a's shoulder. Like I think that's the only part that I've seen. But here we go. This is another challenge that I like.
And if Su'a stays upright, if Su'a manages to stay upright or even semi-upright, he absolutely smashes him in the cracking. He smashes him in the cracking tackle. He smashes it. It does matter. It absolutely matters. It should matter because it can't be all on the defender. If like I said, if there's half a second or a split second between the difference between hitting someone in the head and hitting them in the hip where he was going for, then how's it on the defender? It can't be. We're watching it in slow motion, and
Hang on.
it.
I was shooting a gun, Mr. Officer, and someone just walked in front of my bullet. What? It doesn't matter. It went wrong, and Latrell put Su'a.
That's a great point. Okay, so you're a person with a license to shoot. This is my going on a tangent. That's a great point. You're shooting at a target. Someone runs in front of it, and you couldn't see them. You're not in trouble. You were doing the right thing. You were shooting at a target, whatever it be. That's similar to what you're just saying right now.
It's irrelevant of any of this, right? The onus is on the tackler to not hit the dude in the head, and accidents can happen. But Latrell Mitchell in this moment didn't need to leave his feet. And Latrell Mitchell didn't need to spear tackle. Mitchell didn't need to go that way. And as Hazamat's come through and had some really nice comments, Latrell could have just stayed square, kept his feet to the ground. He could have done that, but he didn't. Latrell went in to hit as freaking hard as he could. And he lost onus as the defensive responsibility to not hit the dude in the head. Irrelevant of the slip or not, his onus is not to hit him in the head. It's as simple as that, right?
If he kept his feet on the floor square,
you can't argue that any other further. It's the onus is on the defender to not hit the person.
If he kept his feet on the floor, he would have killed him because his shoulder would have gone directly with his face because he would have been higher up. Next time I'm going to say to Latrell, you know what, let's just get down all the way down here and just grab his ankle. Because that's better, right? Just grab his ankle down here like this.
That's silly, but now you're being silly, man. Because that's
I'm not being silly. Right? He couldn't have gone any lower than he went. He couldn't have gone any lower than he went.
He could have just stayed square. He literally could have just stayed square.
He can't. He went.
I've seen it all. Jake's on the floor. I've seen it all.
Jake's on the floor.
End of the day, he made high contact, whether he was sleeping or not. It's an illegal move. It's an illegal tackle. Sin bin, sufficient. I perhaps think he should be suspended for more than 1 week, but that's my personal opinion.
Absolutely
I agree. I think he should have got way more than 1 week.
I think it should have been a three-weeker, maybe 4. The intent was very clearly there. Jake, we will continue this chat in person, I reckon, and maybe a pillow fight. Wow, look out. There's a few little things, but we'll get back into it. We'll get back into this afterwards. There's plenty of comments starred, but there is some other stuff in the show to get to. One of the comments was that you guys will be running in Run It Straight.
I can't wait to the weekend so that I can do the tackle challenge to Jake. Jake stands there with his arms up. I can't wait to do
I'll be filming it.
Ooh,
I'll film it and I'll put it up for you, everyone.
Yeah, I'll happily spear tackle you, mate. That's fine.
I definitely don't hate. By the way, also, I definitely don't hate Latrell. I'm actually a really big fan of Latrell, and I've stuck up for Latrell plenty of times, even on this podcast. So there's lots of evidence for that. I have no hate towards Latrell. I just hate what happened on the weekend. I really disagree with that.
Yeah. I want to touch on the last comment there by Daniel. 9 times out of 10, the attacker passes. Trell had no eyes for the second player. That's not his job. If I'm like,
it is
if I'm
job.
Latrell,
He's the fullback.
If I'm Latrell,
to try and stop that play.
The person who's got the ball. You're going to tackle the person who's got the ball before the person who doesn't. You're not going to start running at the next person beforehand. Why would you do that? makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, intercept. Yeah, intercept.
And
Score a
James-
try.
James, don't get me wrong.
Turn the
I think Latrell has got absolute grub in him. I'm defending him this one time because this time he was not in the wrong.
Adam's with us on the weekend, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ja-
well,
Adam-
all three of us will just go in on Jake. It's going to be so fun. And Jesse's
I don't
probably
care.
in with us as well.
I'll do
Anyone
a run
else
at
wants
straight
to
sounds with all
join
three of you.
the poll on Jake? Bring it on. By
gotta
the
do
way,
box- you gotta-
Jake,
You gotta do
now when I'm
boxing ring round or
talking,
what?
you pipe
Yeah.
down. When I'm talking,
Yeah,
when my hand
yeah.
goes up, your mouth goes shut. Okay. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to the banana Nesquik.
What's Jake's strategies in his to get his kids to stop? Is it the clap? This is
You know
what
the
we'll
worst
start-
part about
after me.
Do you know the worst part about that is? It works. It works. And it can work with any age group up to year 12. The kids will do it.
Big news on the rugby league front today, everyone. This is just get us back into gear 3. Jamal Fogarty is leaving the Raiders. Nothing official from Manly yet, but it is pretty much official, bang on, that he will be joining Manly on a 3-year contract. I think this is a huge, huge blow for the Canberra Raiders. They have been absolutely sensational with Jamal Fogarty over the last couple of years. I'm not just talking this year; his form has been amazing. But even last year, they were on a run to make the top 4. Then he got injured. They lost a number of games in that period, and then was sort of just in the battle to make the 8 from there on in when he did return. Then this year, we've seen what Jamal Fogarty can do. To be honest, I was big on this from the get-go that if I was the Raiders, I would have done anything possible to keep him. I think he is top 5 halves in the competition at the moment. I rate him that highly. I think he's a very underrated half in general. His kicking game, his running game, game management, all of it. He's got everything. And in a day and age where we're lacking that, in a day and age where Ethan Sanders, which is probably the next one up for the Raiders, yeah, look, he might do a job, but for mine at the moment and maybe for the next couple of years, he is not Jamal Fogarty. So it's going to be interesting times. Huge signing for Manly. I think many people thought when the DCE news came out that Manly's title chances would be over. Now with Fogarty, it's a perfect signing for Manly. It's a really good. I think he's going to pair in nicely with Turbo. That's going to be a really nice little pairing. Everyone's talking about it. Will him and Brooks work? I don't really care about that. I care about will Fogarty and Turbo work, and I think that'll be a match made in heaven. I think they'll work very, very well, to be honest with you. So, what are our thoughts around this one, Jake? I'll let you go first.
No, it's an absolutely fantastic signing. Honestly, couldn't have done better. I don't think there was anyone else better to sign for them. You're replacing an incredible kicking game with an incredible kicking game, and
yeah.
The only real probably difference I'd say maybe DCE has maybe a longer boot, but Fogarty's got a higher boot, that's for sure. Absolutely got that. He's got a bomb on him that the DCE can't match. So, and then if you're talking about actual general play, like I said, I've said to you a few times, Fogarty is very composed. He's not a person that lets the stress get to him, and I think DC is very much the same. So, to be honest, I think they're pretty much replacing like for like. As for the Raiders side of things, I actually think I don't hate it because I think what they're trying to do is they've got quite a young spine. If you think about like KO Weeks, you've got Ethan Strange, Ethan Sanders, and then Owen Paddy coming through. You're kind of looking like I think they want to try and get this really tight sort of nucleus around the team and kind of work, like try and let them develop together kind of thing. And I actually don't hate that. I think it's a good idea. They might take themselves out of the running for a grand final in the next maybe 2 years or so. And then I think they might really start to look strong after that.
Yeah. There was a few people that mentioned DC to the Raiders. I just can't see that happening. Everything is saying that it's a done deal at the Roosters. Why that's not been official yet, I have no idea because DC has been given permission to talk and everything. I think everyone in the rugby league world knows that's going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, just waiting for the official statement. Trav?
Well played, Manly. This is a great signing, and I think it's for a good price. It's 3 years, so it's not a long contract. It's for $2 million, so it's a decent price for as you said, a very good halfback. I was just looking at his stats and been looking at his stats the last couple of days. They're pretty good. I really like him. He's a really good kicking game. If not better, it's an elite kicking game. He's a very good and underrated game manager, really underrated game manager. And what he has done with the Raiders the last 2 years now, I think it's the way that they play and what they're doing is built around him. I'm disappointed for the Raiders that they've done this. And Jake, so I get what you're saying. I do agree. They are a young list. They're trying to be like that. But we know that you have to have experience, and we know you have to have a game manager, and we know you have to have, big name players to try and ease that load on that inexperience. And there's only so far that the young guys and that will take. And I don't think Canberra are in a let's build and wait to 2 years' time. I think they're in a potential, the way that they're playing and what they're doing, they're in a win now situation. And they're going to be an even better win now situation next year. So I actually really dislike this for the Raiders. And whilst I like your points, Jake, and can see it, I just, in my view, I just don't. I dislike this for the Raiders and think that, and think this is poor by them standards to allow him to go. Like, surely you could surely he would be able to he'd be worth that $750 for you as at the Raiders yourself, yeah. And the thing is, and people are saying this, and I've read lots of comments, and I've even read a couple here how they're saying, Reno, and that they're trying to, like, you're literally trying to get experience back in. So the point of what Jake's saying is it doesn't fit, because everyone's suggesting that they replace Fogarty with someone who's experienced, who can lead them around and manage the media and do all that sort of stuff. Like, why wouldn't you just pay and keep Fogarty? Like, you've already built your club around him. I actually think that they have, like, literally built this club the last couple of years and signed players to suit Fogarty and what he can do and how he plays. I just don't get this. I really don't. But well played, Manly. Like, to replace DCE with a dude who's much younger, for much less, who I think is actually going to probably provide it more in the new game and the way that we play. Well played, Manly.
Yeah. No, and it's sort of, I feel like it wasn't money necessarily the issue. It's just the fact that Canberra didn't want to go to 3 years for Jamal. They only wanted to go to 2, and Manly were very happy to go with 3 years for Jamal. For some reason, Raiders are saying there's reports at the moment suggesting that they don't think Jamal can last the 3 years, which I don't know how. Like, he's playing the best he's ever played. He's like a fine wine at the moment. Daniel just raised a quick point a bit earlier about Sandon Smith. I just want to make a quick one as well, because I think he's out 2026. Obviously, that's the same time as someone like Lockie Galvin. Now, if there's clubs out there that don't want to pay the money for Lockie Galvin, if his DCE thing comes off and he's there for 2 years, that blocks us a path for Sandon Smith for a couple of years. I would not be surprised if there's a couple of clubs out there who go, you know what, let's not spend the money on Galvin. Let's get Sandon. Look, probably Galvin over their careers will be known as the better player. I'm not going to deny that. But I don't think Sandon Smith will be that far behind. I think it'll be a very good value for money signing, getting Sandon Smith on your books to play that 6 role. I think we've seen since Hugo Savala's jumped in at halfback and been that organising, kicking playmaker at the Roosters, Sandon's gone to another level. Like, his game over the last few weeks has been really, really good. So I'd be looking at, if I was a club needing a running 5'8", maybe a Sandon Smith option for 2-3 years and really work with that. So I think that's a decent option. The Penrith Panthers, their decline has happened for this year anyway, obviously. So I want to raise this point, and it's been eating at me for a few weeks now. I was wondering when I should bring this up, and I think now's the time. It doesn't sit well with me. It really doesn't sit well with me that the fact it feels like we are punishing success in our game, and that part doesn't sit quite well. I know we've got a salary cap, things like that. We've got to balance out the competition, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that Penrith from the junior system, like I'm talking 14, 15-year-olds up, are getting absolutely picked apart now, and because of obviously all the success that they've had. It doesn't sit right now that we're now seeing this powerhouse of a club all of a sudden completely have shut the bed in terms of what they're delivering on the field, and they've gone from first to last. And they don't even look a shell of the team that we've known now for 5 years. I'm going to include the year that they didn't win the grand final but made it into the grand final. So it just doesn't quite sit well with me. I don't know what you boys are thinking here, but it's been something that has been eating at me for a while. I don't know what the solution is because I get in a salary cap era, you need to have a way that you just can't have Penrith win for the next 10 years. I get that. But at the same time, Penrith have done things so well to set all this up. And now it just feels like a big truck has come along and just smashed the wall down overnight. And it's completely gone, completely derailed.
You go. If you
Trav,
have one, Trav.
okay.
Sounds like you do.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw you go in there, Jake, and I thought I'd stop. But would you take a bottom of the ladder this year for 4 premierships? Like, what would you prefer?
I get that. I get that hypothetical question, but how often is that going to happen?
Well, it's not, but it's happening now. But I mean, clearly, you're going to take the 4 premierships every time, right? The players aren't leaving because they want to like get out of Penrith. They're leaving because they've been developed so well that you the one club can't pay everyone, literally, right? So it's not that they're. I get what you're trying to say, and I know, and it doesn't quite sit right with me either. That you've got this team that's dominated for 5 years, literally 5 years, and won 4 of those 5 in a row. Then go and sit on the bottom of the ladder. I get that what you're saying, but those players are not leaving because of situations like a Galvin and all those sorts of things, right? They're leaving because they've developed so well, they've done so much, they actually deserve a massive pay rise. There's only so much that these people can, these players can. I mean, at the end of the day, we know that sports, they only play for a certain period of time. They don't play forever, right? So earn as much money as they can, and they sacrifice that to win those premierships. And then at the point, there's a point where it's got to stop. Like they've got to go, okay, I've done everything I can for this club. Let's go and do something else, and I'll get paid for it. So I don't see a problem with this. I get that it doesn't really sit right, and it's a bit sort of not quite make sense to a degree, but I don't have an issue with it because they've been so successful, and these players are leaving to go and earn more money, and the club just can't literally do it. No club can. So yeah, it's a funny one. It's a weird one to say.
Jake?
Oh, mate, honestly, I definitely agree with Trav. I think you can't be up permanently. Otherwise, there's a flaw in the system. I think that if you have a system where a team is able to be successful 10, 15 years consecutively in a row, then it's flawed because otherwise it ruins the competition. Look, what the Panthers did, that 4-year consecutive wins is something that no team will ever do for a really, really, really long time, if ever.
If at all.
Okay? If at all, exactly right. So if they ever do that. So what they've still done is an achievement beyond all achievements in the NRL, sorry. I think that all that is yes, they're a victim of their own success, but that it's impossible for that not to happen. There's no way to protect against that. Like, I don't know. I can't put this into any other words other than that's footy. That's the game. It's business.
It's
sports.
You're right. It's business. It's salary caps. It's the way it's built, right? And to be fair, like I'm trying to think of ways, Joel, because I like your point. I'm trying to think of ways to make it so that there is reward, but at the end of the day, the reward is the ultimate goal. They got a premiership. That's right. So the reward. So what other reward do they need? Like, okay, do they need to get more money? No, hell no. Because look at what they're already doing. So I guess then it's how do you keep these juniors and what you're doing? Well, give them first rights in a draft system or something where you've got to pay for it. Like look at the AFL and the way that they manage that in academies and things. Like, yeah, like I don't know how you can do it. I think at the end of the day, they've been the best organization. They've been the best team at the end of the year because they've won the premiership 4 years in a row. It hasn't been done before, has it? Right. And as Jake says, it's not going to get done again, more than likely. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of ways to give it as a positive rap or fix it, but I don't think they need to. Like they've won 4 in a row.
I think they've got some issues coming up. They've got some issues with. They've literally been picked apart when it comes to their juniors at the moment. So I think for the foreseeable future, they're going to have to rely a lot on signings and getting talent that is ready to go. Because look, three years ago or 4 years ago, when they had all these good young kids came in, that basically whenever they had an injury came in and looked like they were just going to be NRL stars, that has very quickly become non-existent because of teams have just clocked onto this and gone, let's get them while they're young over there. Let's give them that extra bit of cash that goes, oh, let's entice them over. And speaking to someone today who was telling me about a bit of this sort of thing, and they're part of a club, and they're saying like that the clubs are doing it. They're going to Penrith very, very early and just completely tearing them apart, to the fact that I think the last 2 years, no, SG Ball and Howard Matt's teams haven't made the finals and have really, really struggled. So where before that, for years and years and years, they were probably the team that you didn't want to verse. They were really up there with the Eels in terms of having the best nursery, which is, I don't like for me, and I should be hating on Penrith. Their next door neighbours beat us in the grand final, missed out on all that sort of thing. I just sort of, it does, like, I get it, the salary cap era, I get teams, players go for the money and stuff like that. I'm just sort of just popped up in my head that it just sort of doesn't sit that part, especially because it's sort of like they've done such a good job over the years to build up this nursery of this junior system out there. And now the clubs can just come in who aren't putting in the work and literally just go, oh, we'll just give you some money and that's how we're going to do it. I just don't, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And I think
go.
I'm just going to say, I think the junior clubs need to be rewarded more. And people will say, oh, but then Penrith will have a unfair advantage, or the Broncos. Well, no, clubs actually need to put in the effort and actually go from the ground up, like Gus is doing now with the Bulldogs. It will take time. Yeah, it's not going to be a short fix. It will take maybe 2, 3, 4 years to get your club into, and 5 years to get it into the right spot. But if you commit to it, you will then reap the rewards down the track, because guess what? With expansion, you're going to have to rely on these juniors more and more. It's not going to be easier moving forward. It's going to be harder. You're going to have to get these juniors coming through.
Yeah, I think that I actually think a really quick fix for this, and would be a much easier fix, is what Adam has just said here, and what I said a couple of minutes ago is I think the NRL needs to go down a draft path. All right, and they need to look into ways to manage the draft so that the clubs like Penrith that do invest and have these juniors can then get compensated through the draft. So, for instance, do they have to use a third, a fourth, and a fifth for points value to get that first pick, because that's what they say, and then that gives Penrith that choice as to who they want to get, right, and they get that pick. Because at the end of the day, this is where it's going to be, and it's not going to change. I don't think it's fair to give cap relief. I also don't think it's fair to find compensation for it. So we've got to find another way to keep those juniors, or at least let Penrith get first dibs on a select amount of them. I think draft and that sort of stuff would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like some sort of protected draft where the teams who the juniors are coming from still get either first dibs, or they get to choose a select few that they go, hey, like that's all, they're off limits, and then other than that, then it's just sort of from there potentially, whatever that be. It still would allow that the talent pool to sort of spread around the competition based on the nurseries. But that actually, Dad's just come in with a pretty good point there. So like, then they're going to have to also pay a lot of like fees for them, and get them across the schools and stuff like that. They have to make sure that whatever the club was paying them, they're going to potentially have to do the same thing or whatever. It's going to be a very difficult process, but it's not impossible. I think it would work. It just has to be very excruciatingly like detailed and thought out and talked about with the clubs.
Before we get into some of the more the light-hearted stuff, some of the fun, one more topic I want to discuss: the Bulldogs. Obviously, a massive loss on the weekend. Are you boys going to give these guys a pass mark, or is there some concerns coming from this result? And not just the scoreline, but how they played, how it unfolded, the discipline, all of it. Where are we at with the Bulldogs, Jake?
I think they got shocked. I think that they came out, and I think that they got shocked in that first half, and I think that they couldn't recover quickly enough, to be completely honest with you. I think I'll call him out. There's one player in particular I just thought had the probably the worst game I've ever seen a wing and play, and that's Marcelo Montoya had an absolute stinker. But if you're going over, like, I think second half they came out and they showed that they hadn't just given up, and they wanted to make it at least they wanted to make it at least they had a bit like they had some pride in it. Well, yeah, but I still think that the Bulldogs.
Hang on, now I've got to shut you down for a second. I'm sorry, Jake, but I've heard, and it's not just you. I've heard so many media people go, "Oh, I'm going to give Bulldogs credit for the second half." If you dead set watch that game, you know Broncos went from about fifth gear up to about second and just coasted. It was not the same game in the second half, and I'm going off the first half where it was both teams up against each other at full strength at each other. The Bulldogs were so far away, it wasn't funny.
Well, like I said to you just a second ago, I think that they were shocked in that first half, and I think that they came out and they got a little bit shell-shocked and couldn't recover from that, which is an issue. But at the same time, this type of thing can be a learning experience for a team. Like they've won so many in a row, and this team isn't necessarily, used to that. Okay, so I think sometimes a loss can be a shock, but it can be a good thing. And I think they're going to come out stronger out of this as opposed to coming out weaker. So for this week, and because of what we've seen from this year, I will give them a pass. But at the same time, they need a little bit of a kick up the bum for sure. They definitely need to come out next or this week, and they need to put on a show. It can't just be like a meek little victory. It needs to be like coming out and absolutely putting on a red thing.
I don't agree with that either.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think it makes it. And that's not the Bulldogs. That's not how they play, right? No. They're a gritty, nutty team. They want a defensive you. They want to drown you into the ground by defense and make it ugly. And that's what they wanted to go. I don't think they were shocked on the weekend. I think they had a piss poor plan and a game plan, and they didn't adapt to the conditions at all, and got absolutely exposed in terms of what the Broncos came out to do. So it wasn't. They would have been shocked at halftime, being what they were with the scoreline, because they won't let that amount of points in a couple of games very rarely as a total.
Yeah.
So let alone in one half. So I think that's the only thing that shocks them.
Pretty sure they'd conceded 14 over the last 4 rounds, and then like that 30 whatever it was in the one game, which is pretty crazy. Just to add to your point.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the only thing that shocked him. Let's be fair. I think Serraldo's got a few things to answer for, and has a fair bit of work to consider with what he did and how he went into that game. I think, but and obviously, and it was very clear that the message was, let's try and play hard. And unfortunately for a few of those Bulldogs, that's a tick in the head to go, yeah, let's go and kill somebody. And that's what they did, unfortunately. And they haven't got that. And I'm still questioning that, Joel, as to something that you and I spoke about in depth last year in the review. We also touched on it a couple of weeks ago with the Marnie stuff and the dog discipline, the dog way to go, right? I'm still questioning that, and I'm still questioning whether Serrato's actually got that control and doing stuff, because I thought what happened on the weekend was pretty poor. Whilst I get that the scoreline in the second half kind of is flattering to them, I sort of don't. I definitely agree with what Joel's saying, is that the Bulldogs were like, yeah, this game's over. Let's now just get through this 40 minutes and get to Magic Round next week. That's literally what they were trying to do, and you could tell that. In terms of a pass mark, the question's an interesting one. I don't give them a pass from the weekend. I give them a fail. That was a piss poor effort. But I've still definitely got them in it as an A plus on what they've been able to produce for this year.
That's what I meant when I said like the pass mark. I'm not giving that game specifically a pass mark. I mean that the team as it stands, like you can't measure it off one game. Yeah, they got caught out, but they have the opportunity to improve, and that's what I sort of meant. Maybe they don't need to flog the team this week, but they do need to come out and show that they've fixed up those little things that they got exposed on this weekend for sure.
Yeah. Hey, and loving JJ's enthusiasm for Supercoach. You go, man.
Yeah, well, get your questions in, and I'll get Jake to answer them at the end of the episode. He hasn't had a Supercoach question for a while. I think he's due. So get a Supercoach question in for him. We'll star it. We'll do it at the end of the show. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on the Bulldogs at the moment, but what I seen on the weekend, I was very, very concerned about. Like, and I'm not even a dog supporter. It gave me flashbacks to what we seen last year in that finals game against Manly, where one or two of their players, especially Reid, just lost the plot and couldn't handle a team actually giving it to them a bit and just going, you know what, we're not going to let you bash us or take over because you're in form and your crowds are back and things like that. And again, on the weekend, we've seen that from the Broncos, who from the get-go had a clear intent to go to the Bulldogs. You're at our home right now. We're not going to buy into any of the things that are happening down your end of town. Welcome to Brisbane. Welcome to Suncorp. Welcome to pretty horrible conditions. And we'll show you how to play with our forward pack. And it was just an absolute demolition job. And the Dogs couldn't handle it. And instead of trying to resort to a plan B or plan C, they resorted to what they did last year whenever things got hard, and they resorted to poor discipline. Tupouniua's kneeing blokes in the head. There was a couple of very clear, almost deliberate, and we talked about the Crackdown earlier. They almost had a couple where it was deliberate acts of taking players' heads off that should have been legit, like proper sin bins. How Matt Burton didn't go to the sin bin, I have absolutely no idea. On Walters, how he had a couple of bloody cracks at his head. Like, they were just absolutely lost the plot, and that's for mine. I just don't know if I can give the Bulldogs, I can say they're a contender this year because of that effort. Once again, the only time we've seen so far where a team's actually gone, no, we're going to stand up to you, which is going to happen in every single finals game. They won't have it their way in finals, and that's what I'm trying to base this off. I can't see the Bulldogs being a contender and challenging the likes of the Storm, the Broncos. If Manly can keep Turbo fit, Manly.
Can I ask you a question then, Joel? Are Storm not contenders because they had 40 points put on them consecutively by the Dolphins? The same thing. They got. Well, it's the same thing. They didn't lose. And I'm not even trying to give you crappy. I'm not trying to give you crappy trap. I really am not. I'm just trying to ask a question based on the very similar thing where they actually had the advantage. They actually were up by a fair few points, and the Dolphins came at them and they didn't have an answer. They didn't have a response to that. So are they just not contenders now either? Or
the Storm, they lost because they had completely lost control of the game in terms of they lost a lot of the territory, possession and things like that. The Dolphins were running hot. They didn't lose the game because they absolutely started taking people's heads off and kneeing people in the head and stuff. Like, it was a different loss. My concern for the Dogs isn't the fact that they were completely annihilated. It was the manner and fact of how they played when that happened. Like, if that was just a poor game, and we've seen it by almost every single team in the competition now, I could have gone, yep, okay. But it's what happened on the field that, for me, and going off their prior performances last year, whenever there was a big game, they didn't step up to the mark. They have failed at every opportunity, in my opinion, in the last 12 months at these big games. And that, again, was the same thing, in my opinion. So it wasn't the loss. The loss I couldn't care about. We all knew it was coming. And to be honest, a few weeks ago, I actually said that this game probably would have been in. I didn't tip him in the end. I wish I did. My tipping's going horribly. But again, it wasn't. It just was the what happened in that loss.
Yeah, but I've got to turn it and flip the switch a little bit here, and just I think this is all credit on the Broncos too. Like, they belted them. They were enormous. Reynolds was huge. Haas was enormous. From Haas. Like, it was. I think it was a coaching masterclass display. I thought Cobbo at the fullback. Yep. That you got in before me. I thought Cobbo was a really nice element in the back of the fullback. I thought but I need to go further and say that the coaching display and what actually happened on the weekend was just amazing. So I've got to give credit the other way too. Is while we're talking about the crappy discipline about what the Bulldogs did, and we're talking about some of that, we've actually got to give a hell of a lot more credit to the team that actually made them look like that.
Yeah. Hosea, sorry, I can't read with these bloody glasses on. We will get to our tips at the end of the show, so stick around. We will get there very, very shortly. Let's get to a bit of the fun. So the first one up, I want us to talk about Magic Round, a challenge for Magic Round. So I've asked the boys to do a little bit. Let me know what their thoughts are around this one. We've already had in there before. We had someone come through with the suggestion of this could get dangerous. A shoey every time someone gets binned. I don't know whose shoe we're going to use to start with, and I don't know if we actually want to get kicked out from Suncorp. Might not be a good look on the page, but we will see. This sort of stuff is what we're looking for. I remember last year we tried to do something. Myself and Adam tried to do get a photo with at least one fan from every team and tick that off by the end of the weekend. We we went about that the wrong way. We used to ask them to upload it. If I was to do that again this year, I'd actually be the one to upload it and put it to the story, things like that, and try and tick off all 17 teams, maybe 18. Maybe we'll throw PNG in there, and then 19 we'll go to the Bears as well, go early. But that's an example. Trav, got anything? I know you love to do this sort of stuff. What do you got for us?
I don't have anything. I don't drink, so I can't.
How's that for drinking? That wasn't drinking. The photo isn't drinking.
Nah, the photo one's cool. No, I haven't been able to, and I knew you were going to ask the crowd, so I'm eager to see what people are going to say. I don't know, maybe a signature from someone on a jersey from every team, or something like that. It'd be cool to be going do something like that. Or who's the first to find the random Rabbitohs fan in a random spot. Like somewhere where you're not expecting. That might be a good one because there's literally always a random Rabbitohs fan everywhere you go.
Best random Rabbitohs photo.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Jake, you got something?
Yeah, I just stole Trav's. That's what do you mean? I just jumped to the back of Trav's and stole his idea.
This is not a bad one. I'll tell you what, I'll be weighing a bit by the end of it, but collect a piece of clothing or merch from a fan of each team. I don't mind that. I don't know if I want to appear like a scab trying to go, give us your hat.
Give us your scarf.
I'm sure anyone would actually give it to you.
Give us your jersey. Okay, I'll do that bloke from League of Inches. Yeah, struggling. So, Magic Round Challenge. Come to Magic Round in an Eels jersey and hope your team well. Hang on,
I'll
mate.
do that. Shotgun.
Know where you're staying this weekend.
I shotgun that one. That's mine. Put my hand up for that.
Do we do one? We might do one throughout the weekend. Actually, we'll record it. We'll get set up and we'll do a hot dog. We'll see you can get it done the quickest. So, well, let us know. Message the page as well if you have any cool ideas. We might run with the jersey one and we might run with the Rabbitohs one to start with. The hot dog one will be there as well. We want to have some fun on the weekend. We want to get people involved in that as well. Do a fair bit of content and stuff like that around it as well. Make it just a huge weekend of it all. Very, very keen. And again, we do everything. We want to get you guys involved with it. Jerry, we will record it. Do not worry. Let's get into this time of night, the favorite part of everyone's evening. It's the League of Inches draft. The League of Inches draft. It is the prop edition.
Just quickly, there's one from Daniel there that's really good. Get a photo of a fan from each team in the one shot. That's actually not a bad one.
Oh, like a big group photo.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's not bad either, actually. I don't mind that. That's a good one. The League of Inches team dance for each try. Oh, no. Photos are not... Well, I don't know if you want to see me dancing, but get some bold predictions, boys. We'll have some few things going. Diggsy, welcome back, Diggsy.
Look-alike comp.
I'll be at the Velveteen Rabbit. Yeah, perfect. Again, if you are wanting to come to the Velveteen Rabbit, that is our official event, our first ever event. Huge. Let's celebrate. It's been a huge cracking, 4 years now of the page. So it's just a massive get together. Thank you to everyone out there who's been part of things. Come and meet the boys and girls who do help us here on the page. We'll all be there. So very, very keen. 11 to 2 to secure your entry because it is limited numbers. Make sure you do message the page to guarantee yourself a spot. You can rock up at the day. I just can't promise you will have a spot. That is all. Love the passion, Rob. But we're the first game as well. How good. Might be able to remember the game at this point. So prop time. Who's first now? I have a feeling
it's your turn.
Piss off.
I thought it was me. Didn't you go first last time, Trev?
Yeah, I went first. Yeah. I went first last week.
Yeah, it goes around.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, so it goes to... No, I think it is actually me. I feel like
it's Joel's turn.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Okay, so for me, the Jamboree Jelly Wrestlers. So I've got Turbo, Purdue, Iro are my centers. Metcalf and Moses are my halves. And my hooker is Little. I'll spell out LOI in a biz. So every person there, LOI have to put in on a try scorer and everyone rides it together. Or we might do it, for those coming to the Velveteen Rabbit, we might do a good group multi and we'll have to all ride it. That's the gamble responsibly, of course, but we will have a bit of fun. Thank you, Leon. I'll get my first prop. Obviously,
how much money have you got left, Joel? please.
Oh, sorry. And money wise, I didn't get time to put the post out there this week, but for now, I've got $6.95 million left. I actually have the most out of any of the boys at the moment because they all went a bit bigger in their 5/8 last week. So I actually took over and am now leading the money value only by a little bit because Jake's 6.9 and Travis 6.775. So a bit of cash to play with. I think this will dwindle down very quickly with this one. My first prop I am going for Terrell May, 800K. Am I just having him off the bat? Sweet, thank you. Terrell May, 800K. What is Jake doing? Is he not in at the moment? Oh, let's quickly get our teams done, Trav. We don't have to bid. He's gone. He can't hear.
Oh man.
Right. Are you good,
Sorry.
Jake, or what?
Yeah, my headset just did something. I don't know if I'm back.
My player first up, and again, get involved with the comments if you agree or not. 800K, Terrell May.
I'll take him for 850.
Okay, there we go. Are you in this, Trav, or what?
No, I'll sit out of it.
Hey, I'll go 900K, Terrell May.
Yeah, I think you can have him for 900K.
Oh,
I can't believe you only made him pay 100 more.
you bitch.
Hey, I still made him pay more.
Oh, I need my big dog. Oh, I'm so happy with that one. Who's up? We'll go one each at a time. I think it's Jake next.
Yeah.
I want Josh King for 400K.
That's 100K under what he just signed.
Where is that? No, from what I can see, from what I've been able to find, it's 350. I've been looking for it though, and it's barely anything.
So he literally just signed it for 500.
All right, well then 550.
550 for Josh King.
Yeah, he just signed a 500. I'm willing to go 50K more.
Yeah, I'm just asking. I'll just double check him, mate. Sorry,
yeah,
I won't.
Josh King was on my number one list.
I think
Trav I thought I was gonna try and get it for 500 myself. Yeah, I think he's 500. I think 550 is a good price. I'll give you 550. Yeah, for me, I'm not going to go any further.
All right, beautiful. I think it's fair.
That stuffs me up because that was on my list. I just wanted a big meathead, and that's who I wanted.
Leon, on Magic Round, donate to a charity of your choice. Every C word slipped. Mate, we're good boys here, so we won't be donating any money. We won't be dropping a C-bomb. Come on. In public, representing LOI, we won't be doing anything.
Well, he's done it. I think, Leon, he did it 3 times. I think you called him out on this pod, but,
It was 3.
Trav, who's your first? Sorry, what was the Josh King?
Josh King, 550.
Look it up.
Yeah. I'll go. I'm just double checking, but from what I got here, yeah, okay. So I'll go Stefano, 700.
No, he signed for like 850, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
He signed. I'm pretty sure he signed for more.
No,
he signed for more than 700.
No, I'll tell you at the end of this how much he actually signed for. Or from what
I'm googling it. I'm googling it.
So the Tigers offered 850, and he knocked it back. And he signed for the Storm at 700. And the Tigers asked for a what are they, like the technical term? They asked for a count or something, but they asked to talk about it.
So yeah, well he signed less because he wanted to go play with Craig Bellamy. He signs with you. He's going to play with Trav. That doesn't get him a discount.
I'll take.
He gets.
I'll take.
At least
I think
700.
I think. What the hell no? You paid 900 for Terrell May, and he's way better than bloody Stefano.
Yeah, but we agreed on the rule. We did agree on the rule that if you win him you can
get whatever you want.
Yeah, no, but that's the point. The point is that the value. I'm not arguing with Terrell May saying at 900. I was happy to let it go, but I think I've got good value. Not good value, but I've got pretty much value, and at 700 for Stefano.
900. No, I reckon 900. Yeah, 100%. I think he's played Origin. He's an Origin level prop. He only went for less for the Storm because it was the Storm. I feel
I'm willing to say 750. I'm willing to give him 750. I think that's pretty fair.
My max was 700.
I honestly think 750.
And I went straight to it.
eight.
Actually, for the
His
first
max
time
is
in this,
eight.
the first time in this whole thing, I actually went straight to my max because of what you paid for Terrell May, and I thought, 700 is good.
I
go
genuinely believe 750.
750. I'll take him. I'll give him 750.
You want him for 750, Trev?
Yeah, righto.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Diggs, you're right. What's Haas worth? Let's see what Joel, because Joel will put Haas up now.
He wants the prop combo.
Payne Haas 750.
Yeah, okay. No,
I'm not going Payne Haas, unfortunately. I just cannot afford it after spending 900k on May. Max King 450.
I'd say Max King's at a relatively similar value to my King.
If not better. I actually think he's better than Josh.
Yeah.
It might be better, but it doesn't mean he's on a better deal.
Which one did you want, Max?
I'm going to say Max King 450.
No, his NRL salary is 657k. Thanks, mate.
Oh, wow. See you later, Maxi King. Corey Horsburgh playing reserve grade last year. I will get him for 350. Thank you.
I love the little.
You're just dragging this out. You're just dragging this out.
I'm not. I'm 350 for Corey Horsburgh. He's been a sook last year. Him and Ricky had a bit of.
He's currently on a 3-year deal worth 2.3 million. So what's that?
What is it? 3-year 2.2.
Just under 800k.
2.3. So that'd be about No. That'd be just under. That'd be under
salary cap.
That'd be under 600k.
2.3.
It'd be under 666 because 2 million
years.
over 3 years is.
Didn't you say 2.3? Yeah, so
2.3.
it's just under 800.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, about that. Let's say 700. Yeah, about 700.
I'll go 500k for Horse. 500k.
That's not the amount that he's on. That's not. What do you mean? You can't do that.
This year's form is killing me for some of these players. Oh, okay. This is hurting me. I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do. Oh, you know what? White from the Roosters, 350k.
Yeah, I already looked him up. Looked him up because he was he was my option. It was my option too.
Let's go 350. I'll give you 400.
I'll go straight to 500 right now.
Oh. 510.
Oh my god! Don't do 10s. 25 minimum, surely.
I'm 510.
520.
Okay, you can have him.
520.
I don't care.
No, you can have him there because I was only going to offer 400 for not for White myself.
Oh, what for 520?
His salary is like 650k.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. I looked it up.
He's been on overs for a long time. They're finally getting their money's worth. There's no way.
Oh no, I must have looked at the wrong thing, and now I'm really sad.
I think nothing.
He just paid overs for a mile.
I've just definitely paid more than he's worth.
From 350 to 500 anyway.
because I thought he was worth that 650k that I looked up earlier. God damn it! Can I renege
520
for 500?
No,
you're locked in.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, you're locked because I wanted him for 510, so you got him for 520. Unlucky, bro. Good buying. Good. Your salary cap management's really good.
Oh, I stopped that one. That one's bad. That one hurts. I stopped that.
I'll go Isaiah Tahulu, the kid at the Titans who wants out at a rapid rate. I will have him on my
1 million.
Actually, sorry, no. I'll go Josh Curran, 450.
Have no idea what's he on.
Is that a
No,
silence because that's a good deal? Thank you.
don't
Just
know
current
either.
salary. What'd you say?
450.
450.
That's what he's currently on, so you need to go higher.
How
What
I can go on 450?
No, we're not going to give it you.
Oh, I don't
How
mind.
No, sorry. It says here 480. Sorry, where I'm finding this on Daily Telegraph. 480. You have to go
Okay.
higher than that.
I'd be
490.
happy. Oh, I would have just said you could have him for 480. To be fair, whatever he's currently
Okay,
signed, I don't
480.
I
Thank
don't
you.
think he's worth any more
He's
than
a
what
he's a 500k player, at least.
I'll go in for 480k. Thanks, Jake. You piped down, mate. You're out now just because you're annoyed that you went 520 for what? Trav, you got him all by yourself now. Who you got?
My next one on my list is Toby Couchman. And I'll start at 500.
700. 750. I think for Couchman, I think that's pretty fair, to be honest.
Has everyone finished? Just quickly before I throw out who I was going to actually do before I jumped in with White and stuff myself.
Well, hang on. Are you okay with Couchman?
Yeah. Oh wait, what was your value?
500.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Which Couchman
Lock
is
it
it?
in.
Toby.
Oh,
Rightio, cool.
I'm happy with that. 500.
Oh, I spent about 300k more than I wanted to in the front row.
Oh no.
Here we go. Who was your dude, Jake? Who are you going to go for?
It's going to go Mitch Barnett. He's only about 620k at the moment. I could have got him for 650k. Relatively good buy, actually. I reckon.
Unlucky.
Yeah, spewing. Oh, well, is what it is.
500k Couchman. That's not bad. Not a bad little value.
Like, would you tell me this? Because I just got Knack White for 520, and I just said Barnett 630. So I'd have asked for 650. 130k more. Would you say value is adequate, or would you say Barnett's worth more? If I had it for Sunday,
I'd say
because yeah. Okay.
But
I'll leave it at that.
No one went half.
I'm happy with White.
But that's because we know we have to spend at least $1 million when no one wants to do that.
Yeah, I'm not putting $1 million into my prop. Sorry, mate.
When I've already I'd like to. I wanted James Fisher-Harris, which is funny because Rob actually just put him up. I wanted him, but I know how much he's going to be worth. The other one I had was Tarpany, but I was glad that Joel, because I knew Joel might have gone big. So first. So as soon as I saw what May was worth, I knew what Tarpany was, because Tarpany's just signed for was apparently 950. So it's like, I don't want to spend that much in my front row. Although I know how important the middles are. But, yeah,
I thought you both would have gone one big. I thought you would have gone one big.
Yeah, I think I've got. And I think Toby Cashman's got a big gun.
I'm okay with this. Now I'll just quickly mention this to you, Joel.
Can I ask for a refund though? Can I get a refund on Ponga?
No, mate, you're stuck with him.
No, well done, mate. Next week, we will go for. Let's round out our back line. Let's go the wingers next week.
Yeah, nice.
And it has to be their number. So the 2 or 5, it have to be their actual numbers. So this one, it didn't matter because props are props. So they have to play, if they're a left winger or a right winger, number represents that. They have to play that.
How many games do they have to have played on either side of the field to count? Because some play like Tyler plays on either. He's played on both. For example, I'm not saying I'm going to get him, but I'm saying as a 2.
Majority of the time, he's number 2.
He's played a full season on the other side.
Just go with the majority. What's the majority
yes.
you played? Just
right.
Make it
all right.
Going too much. You're boring.
Now Trav, I was telling Joel earlier that something that could be really fun is once the new NRL or rugby league game comes out, I reckon we should get these teams that we create, and I reckon we should verse each other using them.
Yeah. Problem is that you're a game nerd, so you'll be all over this and smoke us just because of your
video game. Vlogger.
Yeah.
To be fair, when this game comes out, I'll be playing it for a long time. Can't wait. All right, let's get into our tips and then get some questions to start getting those questions in. Huge Magic round. Let's get into it. First of all, the Thursday night game is the girls' origin, or the women's origin, I should say. Queensland versus New South Wales. Trav, who you got?
Queensland.
Boo. Jake?
Absolutely, New South Wales.
Go the Blues. Blues by 1,000. I'm actually half tempted to go to this game. Actually, I'm starting to warm up to it just to get my footy fix in at night early. Pump up. Go the Blues.
Think of your family, mate.
Oh, bring them on. I'll bring them on. Sharkies versus the Eels. First game up. Jake?
You know what? I tipped them last week, and I'm going to tip them again. Go the Eels.
That's good. You tipped them last week.
You tipped them in a bye.
That was ballsy.
No, the week before that. Last week. That was this week.
I hope you put some money on that.
I did, and we got up too. It was good. No, like against the Tigers, I tipped them, and we got up. So I'm going to go Parramatta.
Well done. Make sure you get the bye next time. Trav?
Parramatta by 10.
I've got Iro for an anytime try scorer for a Sharks win.
I'm doing it. The first time I'm ever going to do it. 5-day turnaround after a Golden Point loss. I think it will take it out of the Sharkies. I'm tipping the Eels. I am tipping the Eels. The first time all year I have tipped them. So off we go. Roosters against the Dolphins, the second of the Friday games. I'm actually really keen to watch this game. It's two teams very even. Both have some really good attack in them as well. So it could be a great, great game. Trav, who you got in this one?
Did you notice Chad Townsend got brought back? Although not named in the initial 17, but he's there lurking.
Look out the Chad.
Just thought I'd have a laugh. The Dolphins for me.
I'm on the Roosters for this one. Jake?
I'm also on the Roosters.
I like this week. We're going to have some different tips this week. This is brilliant. I feel like the last few weeks doing our post each week, we've almost had this identical tips for like 3 weeks in a row. South versus the Knights, the first of the Saturday games. So we'll all be just rolling up after sinking a few at the Velveteen, getting probably a pie into us, maybe having the hot dog competition. South Sydney versus the Knights. I am tipping. Oh, South are pretty decimated at the moment. Oh, wow. There has to be a game the Knights actually start bouncing back in. Is Magic Round that it? Nah, I still think Adam O'Brien can't coach. I'll tip the Bunnies. Bunnies in a close one. Jake?
I still think Adam O'Brien can't coach. That's gold. I'm going Bunnies as well.
Yeah. Trav? Look, if this is one of those games. If Ponga plays, I'm going to go to the Knights. Because there's a whisper around that he's got a fracture in his face or something like that, or whatever. There's an injury of some sort. If Ponga doesn't play, I'm going to go the Rabbitohs. So right now, I've got the Knights.
Rumor is he actually gave himself that facial fracture to stop playing for a few weeks, so he didn't have to deal with the Knights.
Waiting for the joke to come through. Yeah, good call.
Oh, thank you. I'll leave it from there. See you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye. The Warriors against the Cowboys. Second of the Saturday game. This is going to be an absolute.
This is game of the round, in my opinion.
Oh, wow. There's some big Sunday games.
But I actually think that's a fair call. Oh, no, Canberra, Melbourne, game around. North Queensland.
Make sure if you are attending Magic Round, make sure you're at this game. We said it on Sunday. The Warriors games at Magic Round are ridiculous. Atmosphere is the best of any game there for the whole weekend. It's so fun. Make sure you are there at the game watching because it's fantastic. Trav?
I've got the Cowboys just.
I'm going the Warriors. I'm going up the Wars. Up the Wars. Tigers versus the Dragons. Yeah, Tigers versus the Dragons. Wowee. Oh, Trav, who you got? I'm not at you yet.
The Tigers.
I am. Yeah, I'm on the Tigers, but I have a feeling the Dragons could turn it around after being embarrassed on the Anzac Day game. Jake?
Yeah, I've gone Tigers. I just think that with Gavin back, they just look better. I think they can do it. Who can do it?
Sunday.
Long.
Titans against the Bulldogs. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I'll be locking in the Bulldogs to bounce back. Jake?
Yeah, I've gone Bulldogs as well.
Yeah, not bad at the Titans, honestly. Trav?
Yeah, so bad. I've got the Bulldogs as well.
Goodness me. This has a bit of a feel to it. Penrith against the Broncos. Sunday, 4:00 game. Jake?
Brisbane.
Love Magic Round, don't they?
Yeah. No, I mean, they lost last year against
Did they?
Warriors.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penrith lost last year against. Yeah, that was the surprise. That was the upset.
Depleted was. Trav?
The Broncos. Easy.
Yeah, no, Sorensen. Sorensen's out now for 3 weeks. I think they failed in trying to contest that one. So
yeah,
got done for an extra week. Oh, that's another bone I want to pick. But anyway, that's another topic. I hate that how that happens. You get more just by basically asking the question, pleading the case. You get punished for it. Cop it. Disgraceful.
They don't want to work. They don't want to work.
I don't get it, but what's the logic behind that? Why is it? It's not like you've changed what you've done. You've done the offense already. You're just simply trying to get a downgrade. Like, I don't understand why that means you then cop a longer suspension by getting it wrong. Anyway, rugby league, it's a funny game. I'll go the Broncos in that one. Last one. This is the game of the round for mine, and it's the last one. So I hope the ground actually ensures that this game can be what it looks like it can be. The Storm against the Raiders. Wow. If you don't think Ricky will have his men up for this one, you got rocks in your head. Absolute rocks in your head. I am going to go.
John, you just said it. Stick by it.
Oh.
Live on air, mate.
The Storm weren't that good last week. The Storm weren't that good. I'll go the Storm. I need to get one tip this week, so I'll go the Storm, Jake.
I'm going Storm as well.
Trav, here you go.
I've got the Raiders. No, I've got the Storm.
And Manly against the bye. Jake, do you want to just put your balls on the line and just let everyone know you're tipping Manly?
Like
I'm going Manly by 1 million.
Tommy
to get injured.
Supercoach record. All right, a couple of questions now. Had one that's been asked a couple of times for Trav, Mr. Leon Borg. Tonight's question is, why can Melbourne Storm infringe the ruck constantly and not give 6 agains?
They're not giving 6 agains because the ref doesn't call it because it's not a 6 again. Simple as that.
There's the boats that you give him help that or
well, hey, do we need to remind you that only a couple of weeks ago Para finally signed their settlement for cheating? The only reason why you guys are jealous is because you couldn't cheat and win. You finished on the bottom. So, that's right.
Excuse me, none of that. No, don't be throwing heat. This question was directed at you by a non-Para fan. You once again bring Para into it. You're addicted to us.
Because that's how you came to me, having a go about the boats.
You know what, Jake? Don't worry about you running straight and hard. I want him to run straight and hard at me Friday night.
Mate,
let's go to the Facebook ones first while people get their questions in. First off, Jess, again, this is the shortest question she's ever done for the page, which I very much adore. I thank you so much for this one. I can understand it. What's your take on Johns' stance that high contact should only be worth 5 in the bin? Is that fair enough, or should players be forced to sit out for as long as the opponent is off for a HIA? Well, I said this before. I actually said that if it's 15 in the bin for the HIA and they did the crime, I reckon it should be 15 minutes. I don't like the 5 minutes in bin. It's just a cop out for doing something that is illegal. I hate it, but.
So he wants, and he used the example 5 minutes in the bin of a head-high contact, but the professional foul, which is what was ended up being called for Pappenhausen, that was his example, should definitely be a 10-minute. I don't understand his. This is where, like what I was saying before, I agree with Johns for the first time, but often I actually disagree. And this is one of those moments where one day I disagreed with him and one day I agree with him for the first time in ever. I disagree. I think 5 minutes is ridiculous for a sin bin, especially if you're going to keep the 15 minutes for a dude who's got to sit out for a HIA. I actually think, and I said this already before, the 15 minutes should be. I think the sin bin should be match the HIA, and I also think that if the HIA can't return, neither should they. That's my hot take.
That was pure comedy. They did the challenge, and then next minute they cop a sin bin from it. Oh goodness me, I couldn't believe what I was saying. I'll get Jake. I won't get you to answer. I'll get you the next one. Shannon goes, "Oh wow, good luck with this one." Well, do you think the NRL is striking the right balance between honouring Anzac legacy and promoting cultural inclusivity?
He reset that. I just heard the inclusivity.
You need me to read this for you, Joel?
Nah, inclusivity. Or are we starting to blur the lines between genuine commemoration and commercial spectacle? Far out, man. Stop using these big words, guys. I'm just a bloody rugby league bum.
I don't think we are blurring. Yeah, well, I don't think we are blurring the line. Like, I get it feels like what he's trying to ask here is like, are we trying to make it too showy? Are we trying to make it too much like a performance that then it's moving away from what it's meant to be? But not really. As long as we're doing all the parts of it that are like all the parts of the service and that we're trying to show, and give respect to it, there's no reason why, it can't be the way that they currently do it. I think that the kind of easier it is to look at it, the more sort of the more we can get the younger audiences into it, the better. I don't know if you guys agree with that. The more that we can get the younger audiences into like understanding what it's about and things like that, and they'll see this and they'll be interested in it. They might ask questions to their parents and things like that. Like the more, I don't think it's getting too showy at all. That's, if that answers the question. That's from what I can
think
understand.
It's actually a little bit more to that. I think there's a whole nother aspect of cultural inclusivity, and I think he's really stemming that to what the Storm came around with the Welcome to Country mess up that they apologized for, and I
had to rehear the question because I had to rehear the question because I heard inclusivity 9 times.
Shut up, Jake. Honestly, you're gone on the weekend. You are gone.
Yeah, so I guess what's your opinion there then, Jake, around the idea of the cultural inclusivity and blurring the lines between like that they thought to have to do a Welcome to Country on a day that's Anzac Day, right? So where we're celebrating and the cultural, there was more than just one culture that went to war and represented Australia at the war. So
of course, and like I think everybody understands that. The issue is that I think people don't understand what a Welcome to Country actually is. What a Welcome to Country is not doing, it's not being the Indigenous people literally welcoming the people that they're talking to Australia. That's not what it is. It's celebrating a connection with like land and like when they say to country, they mean like the land, everything within the land and things like that. It's not like it's not like a literal welcome to. I think that doing a Welcome to Country is absolutely fine. It's celebrating the original land rights holders, and even though they don't necessarily own all the land in the country and stuff like that anymore, it doesn't matter. It's still showing and paying that respect. What's like 1 minute difference? Not even a minute. What's 30 seconds difference? I don't believe that they're blurring that line at all, and I think that it's absolutely fine. Personally,
to have it or not have it,
to have the Welcome to Country is absolutely fine. I think there's no issue with it.
I got nothing to add. I got nothing to add.
That's my.
Well done, Jake. Well done. I'll just say one thing for the NRL. Well done on the weekend and the way they paid respect to the Anzacs. That Anzac Day itself was spine-tingling every single time. It ceases to amaze me just how good the grounds that do it. Absolutely fantastic. And all throughout the weekend, think there is some people out there that question, should they do it as full on over the other days apart from just obviously Anzac Day? That's one question I have heard a couple of times throughout the last couple of days. Honestly, I just think, and the league in general, the way they do the jerseys and everything, they do it so well. I'm happy for them to do it all weekend long. Like, it's a special time. Let us have that weekend where we just have that time to stand there inside. And the one thing I really love, that moment of silence every single time was perfectly silent every single game all weekend, which normally when this happens, when it's like a player that's passed away or something, you always get those idiots who bloody yell out or something.
Yeah.
Every single game all weekend was stone cold silence. Absolutely fantastic.
Agreed.
So well done to everyone out there who was at those games. Nicholas, diehard Panthers fan, but after last week, I'm writing them off for the season. I know some people still hold hope, but realistically, do you think they make the 8? I'm saying 12 to 14. I'm with you, mate. I've written them off. I wrote them off a week or two ago. It's just too hard basket now. I think they need to they can only lose something like 4 or 5 games now for the rest of the year, which is crazy. They've still got an origin period to get through, which I think they'll lose a couple of games throughout that period alone. Then who knows, some of their players who get picked with injury history and that might get injured, might not be able to back up, things like that. So I think they're absolutely done. Trav, do you think the Penrith are done?
Yeah. Yep. So they came out and won that game straight after me saying that they might not, that I think I give them another week. They won that game and then lost last week. I think last week was that write-off. That's it. They're done.
Yeah. I answered this on the Sunday pod, Joel, for you. I said if they do any worse than 3 from 3 in their next, like if they lose any one of their next 3 games, then I've written them off. They're gone. They have earned, with the 4 premierships they've got, and they have earned the right to prove me wrong.
Yep. Daniel, why are there more sin bins and less HIAs? Why are the rules different depending on the occasion? This won't happen in Origin or Las Vegas. If I was a coach, I'd tell my less effective forward to fall in a tackle when game is on the line so I can get a player in the bin. And if doctor calls a HIA, I'm replacing my worst forward. Well, I hate that last part with a passion. I hope the game never resorts to those tactics. That's horrible to hear. But the top part, why was there more sin bins and less HIAs, is 100% spot on. I don't get it. Like, it should just be as soon as there were players that were clearly, if they were hit hard enough to warrant the sin bin and things like that, there should have been a HIA, and there was a number on the weekend that didn't. So I don't like that. I think it should be a HIA.
Agreed. Yep, we talked about that before. However, the point that he said at the end is actually one that's starting to creep in. Who did the weekend? No, but it's starting to be talked about a lot more, and the conversation is starting to come up now because players are starting to fake penalties and things like that. I think the next step is that this actually happens, and I hope it doesn't. And if it does, it's an embarrassment. But it's being talked about a lot more in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Rob, live one. Do you think Cleary Moses Origin selection? Jakey boy, is that where you'll be going for New South Wales?
Cleary definitely won't miss the selection. Absolutely not. Cleary and Moses will be, in my opinion, the half.
Oh, I actually read that wrong, I think. I read Cleary Moses Origin selection. Yeah, sorry. Do you think Cleary misses Origin selection? Sorry.
Or no, I definitely don't. No, God, no. Look, I've never believed he's the most effective when it comes to an Origin level. But I think it just doesn't matter what he's done. Just has I think he's never been paired with Moses, and I think that they actually have a feeling that'll work really well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be Cleary and Moses for sure. I won't even bother asking Trav. He's a Queensland. He'll tell us to pick bloody who knows who. He'll probably tell us to put bloody
Chad Townsend,
Dale Fanuc, and bring him back and play him at halfback. I don't know. He'll say something. Queenslanders, Junior, put him in 5'8". Brilliant.
And now, to be fair, you're stupid if you don't have Cleary as your halfback.
100%. It's like you guys would be stupid if Dearden isn't your 6, but that's a different story.
Well, I don't know about that.
I disagree, but anyways.
We will start talking a lot more from next week about Origin as well, guys. So we will. I'm just getting ready for Magic Round. That's all it is. So I'm just ready to party. I did have the hat on, but it was starting to hurt my head. My head's too big. So I think those people asking that in the comments before, and that's what it is. But that's it. Ready to rip and tear for Magic Round, boys. Let's go. Let's go rest up. We need it for now. Very, very keen. Get message page if you do want those last couple of tickets that are remaining for the event. But thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being part of it once again. Goodbye, Trav. Goodbye, Jake. And I was going to swear, but I better not. Good night.